Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to be doing this live. I can't believe I'm doing it. My name is Jo Randolph. It's so nice to see you. If you're new and you're watching from a different part of the world, please say hello and let me know where you're from. So if you're new to me, haven't seen me before, my name is Jo Randolph, and I am a holistic career coach, and I help you discover your gifts, fulfill your purpose, and create a joyful life. I am so grateful that IAN has given me this opportunity to share a little bit about really just pursuing your passion, which is health and wellness. I am so excited. I did actually study at IAN a few years ago, and that was really the beginning of my career. So hello, hello, hello. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comment, and I'll try and monitor everything. So we've got people watching from Switzerland, hi, Mexico, South Africa. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about your fears. What do you fear when pursuing your passion projects? Now, I don't know who's watching that is considering becoming a health coach, or maybe you're already on that path and you're actually studying, or maybe you've graduated. But either way, chances are you actually have some fears with pursuing your passion. And I just wanted to actually answer a question which I recently received, and this is what it says. So it says, "Dear Joy, I really want to be a health coach. I love it, and I want to change people's lives. But when I don't see many job opportunities, it scares me. I also don't want to start my own business. The possibility of never bringing any income in is scary. I need job security." Now, if you're listening to that, I can't, I mean, what do you do? I can totally relate. And I wonder whether you can relate when you're thinking about starting health coaching and you're feeling really anxious and you're wondering, is it possible? Whether you've started your business and you're wondering, am I really going to get money coming in? I'm really struggling financially. When you're having those fears, it's really, really easy to kind of just stop for a moment and think, I'm not sure if I can do this. I know that this is something that so many business owners can relate to. And I know this is something that I can definitely relate to. So what I really want to talk about is, what do you do when you have these doubts? What do you do when you have these fears that what you're pursuing won't work out? Well, often what a lot of people say is follow your dreams, go do what makes you feel happy. But the reality is that when you're pursuing, the idea of pursuing what you absolutely love is scary, right? It doesn't sound as easy as just go ahead and do it. You know, it's kind of like gambling. It makes you think about gambling. So let's say, for example, someone can just gamble and throw away so much money. But if you really want to make sure that you have job security, if you really want to make sure that you have so many things, the last thing you want to do is to lose everything that you've had. Because the whole reason why you're doing this is to do what you absolutely love. And so the question is, what do you do? So I can personally relate, because when I started pursuing my passion, it was a few years ago. I think it was I graduated, I think like 2015, 2016, around that time. And I remember that I had a nice, comfortable job working in the city. So I used to work as a consultant for global brands, Nike, Unilever, L'Oreal, and I worked on some really great projects. And the really nice thing is that I had a great boss. I worked on really interesting things, but you might have noticed this yourself, where you realize that your heart is not in the job that you're doing, and you feel like there is something more, there is something else that I could be doing. And I definitely felt that. Now, the trouble is that I didn't want to lose my job security. Even though I wasn't enjoying my job, I didn't want to actually stop having that steady income, that kind of safety net. And I also didn't have much confidence. If you're starting a business or you're pursuing a passion project, you kind of feel like a bit of a baby, like you don't really know exactly what you're doing or how to do things or what's really going to happen. And so it's one of those things where you just kind of stop and you just have doubts, like, oh, what if I fail? I'm not good, because you're really starting as a beginner. And what beginner actually thinks, I've got this, I'm an expert? No, because normally you are a beginner for a reason, because you're really at the start of your journey. So the question is, what do you do? And it really made me think of an analogy that I recently came across, which is the mountain analogy. So what I want you to do is I just want you to like pick a mountain, right? A huge, gigantic mountain. And across the other side of the mountain is something that you absolutely want. Maybe a new home, maybe something that you want to do, maybe something that you're passionate about, whatever it is that you're trying to figure out for yourself. On the other side of that mountain is your dreams. The challenge is often people see this huge mountain that completely obstructs your view. So you have no view of what it is that you want to see. You have no idea how you're going to get to that side. And some people, well, they think, I'm going to walk there, and they walk up that mountain. Some people say, I'm going to hike. Some people say, I'm going to get on a bike. Some people want to run. My husband, he loves running barefoot across mountains. Yes, barefoot mountains. And he will literally run like it's like more than a marathon. I forgot what that type is. Point is that there's some people that think, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run, I'm going to sprint, I'm going to cycle. And then there are others who just stop. And instead of doing any of those things, they just stare at the mountain and just go, oh my gosh, this mountain is so big. It's kind of like if you're seeing people run a marathon and you think, I'm not running that far. I'm someone that I still haven't run a marathon because I think this is far too big for me. And your business, your passion, your hobby can be that thing that you're looking at thinking, I want to be on that other side, i.e. I actually want to know what it's like to overcome the obstacles and come to the other side and have that amazing business, health coaching business, or whatever it is that you want to do. But then you're having this fear and you're completely obstructed by what you think is the size of the mountain. So I just really kind of want to get your thoughts on that. Like, does it feel as though when you're trying to pursue what you're passionate about, there's this huge mountain and you're not quite sure exactly how you're going to do it? And the question is, do you just stop and look at the mountain, or are you actually thinking about taking action? So this actually reminds me of a quote by Tim Storey. And he says that what keeps a lot of people stuck is instead of actually walking, instead of getting the bike, instead of running over, instead of figuring out a way around the mountain, whatever, they instead just stop and look and they focus on the size of it. And the bigger the mountain feels, the harder it is for them to actually start taking their first step. And so they end up living a life of almost life. In other words, are you always almost starting a business? Are you always almost doing that thing that you love? Are you always almost doing something else? Like in terms of, if you're looking back at your life, you're thinking, how many times have I actually really pursued what makes me happy? How many times have I actually really gone after what I really want to do? And even though it's easy for me to say this, I know that I've actually personally struggled with this myself. So I'm not saying this trying to preach from a different part of the mountain and be like, hey, come on up with me. No, the complete opposite. What I'm trying to say is that I can relate when you're looking there and you're thinking, I'm too scared to take this first step. So what I'm going to share is really kind of a few things that I found that have really helped me kind of get out of that almost mindset. I'm almost going to do it, but I chickened out. I'm almost going to start this business, but I chickened out. I'm almost going to go and get that qualification or study this at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, but I freaked out. I looked at the finances and I was like, oh my gosh, too scared. There's that almost taking action, but then you don't take the action. So what helps me overcome that and actually get to the other side? Now, one of the things that I love thinking about is the reality that, the mountain analogy. The amazing thing is that different people can go over the mountain at whatever pace. It's kind of like if you were going to do a 10K run, everyone can start the starting line, but some people will absolutely leg it and they will just get to the finish line really quickly. Some people are just really fast 10K runners. Others are new to running and they've trained so hard to actually make it across that line. And for me, I was actually pregnant when I did 10K and I was running alongside this really old man running. I think I was like 10 weeks pregnant and I was running knowing I was pregnant and carrying this sign that basically said baby on board. And I was like, I'm running with my baby across the 10K. And the reason why I'm talking about this is that it's all about pace. Okay, so the point is that if you're comparing yourself to people that are sprinting, the reality is that if you would run a 10K race, you're not even thinking about who got there first. What you're thinking about is, oh my gosh, I have just done it. Before, I might not have thought I could do it, but I actually did it. And so you just start getting started. So I'm just having a look at comments. So I try not to look at the side of the mountain, but take a little tiny steps and kind of keep my head down and keep looking forward, if that makes sense. Yes, 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 yes. Because yes, if you just keep taking those steps, it really makes a difference. So, so what helps me kind of take those steps is to first just pause for a moment and actually visualize, what do you want that's on the other side of that mountain? So just pause for a moment and think about, what do you want that's on that other side of this mountain? So you want a job that you really love? Do you want to pursue your passion? Do you want to wake up in the morning feeling excited for work? Do you want to make a meaningful difference in people's lives? Are you obsessed with health and wellness? Are you obsessed with finding out what to eat or how to take care of your body or how to heal? I'm not quite sure what your obsession is, but what are you most obsessed with? But most importantly, what makes you feel most alive? Really, what makes you feel the most alive? The reason why I do this term is that sometimes the things that we do just give us so much energy that we are radiant, we are really happy. So for example, I was really nervous coming on here, and I was going to try and come on here earlier, but I had a problem with the setup with my camera and my phone, and I needed to log everything on, and I was like really nervous. But as soon as this live went live, I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I'm so happy, and I'm so energized by talking to you. And so what I want you to think about is, what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel excited? That even if you're nervous, even if you're doing something that's out of your comfort zone, even if you don't feel like you have everything put together and everything is perfect, what makes you feel so energized? Doing it just feels so good. And then the next thing is, what are you willing to do to get to the other side? So are you willing to walk? Are you willing to get a map? Are you willing to, do something else so that you can actually, cross that mountain? What are you personally willing to do? Because like I said, it's actually not a race of who gets the fastest. It's not a case that, oh, so-and-so, there are all these health coaches, or there are all these experts, or there are all these professionals who are so far, much more advanced than me, that they are so ahead that I will never catch up with them. I will never catch up with them. That's one of the thoughts that I had, which was, oh my gosh, if you check Instagram, how many health and fitness experts do you see? You see so many. You're thinking, what can I do, or what can I say to actually make a meaningful difference in the situation? And then I realized that it's not a race. What other people are doing is none of my business. The same way that whatever I'm doing with my life is no one else's business, unless if, they're a friend, or maybe they're you, and we're chatting and we're getting to know each other. But the point is that when you'll start focusing on yourself, then what other people are doing is actually not of significance. And yet somehow, when we're trying to pursue our passion, we start thinking about other people, and those thoughts are really in our mind. Okay, so think about, what are you willing to do to get to the other side, no matter what pace it is? And for you, it might be just starting as a side hustle, or maybe it's actually, for me, I actually decided to throw myself in there full time because that's what I really wanted to do. So just start thinking about what pace do you actually really want to take it? And then the next thing to do is to also really focus on taking a step, rather than stopping yourself out of fear. Because one thing is that if you expect that there are going to be challenges coming, if you expect that things may happen, so sorry, you might actually hear my baby crying. So I'm a mom and I work from home, and she's just started crying, but she's with her dad. She's not alone. So see if you hear that. It's just a little baby who is being taken care of. So if you actually are focusing on taking a step rather than stopping out of fear, and you actually expect that challenges will come. If you expect challenges to come, but you're actually seeing those challenges as something completely different. So for example, there's actually a difference between having a struggle and feeling the struggle. Okay. So someone can have a struggle with something like, oh my gosh, this is so challenging. some people can really feel the struggle, they can really feel the pain. Now, the question is, which would you rather, have the struggle and get over it without much pain, or have the struggle and feel all the pain and all the struggle that comes with it? I think for a lot of people, if we can do things with minimal pain if possible, then that is typically what we prefer. And so when you're thinking about the challenges that may come your way, instead of thinking about it like, oh my gosh, what would it be like if my business doesn't make money? Oh my gosh. And you start really processing and sitting in the fear of, what if there's not enough money in my bank account? What am I going to do? Am I going to have to get another job? How is this going to work? Once you really start thinking about that, then you really start to feel the pain. And then once you start thinking about, oh, I'm not good enough, once all those thoughts really start kicking in, you really, really feel struggle. However, if you see it as, oh, okay, so I'm starting this business, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And there are people who have done this before, and I believe I can do this as well. And I can figure this out. This is a struggle. I'm expecting this new business owner struggles, because every new business owner has to basically comes across this struggle. So if I just take one step at a time and I get used to this one step at a time, then it becomes so much easier, as opposed to looking for an alternative, which is starting a business without any struggle whatsoever, which frankly isn't, it's kind of like an ideal land that doesn't quite exist. So the other thing as well that I think can also be really helpful to think about is, do you feel like you're starting life in a setback mode? Because it's one thing for me to talk about struggles, but what if you already feel like you're starting life in setback mode? Whenever I've seen some people that have been really successful, I think, oh, well, it makes sense that they were successful because they had, I don't know, parents that had lots of money, or they had a situation where they had that freedom, or they had other things that make you feel like they were on paper more likely to be successful anyway. And when you start thinking about it that way, then you actually start to feel like you're set back and that you are behind. But one of the things that really helped me is to actually start to think about things not in terms of where am I behind, but to instead start to think about how can I be happy exactly where I am. So if I am a beginner and I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm really scared about my future, if I can actually start from a place of, can I be happy where I am whilst I'm on the way to where I'm going, then it becomes so much easier. So if you can find a way to enjoy every single stage of the journey of pursuing your passion projects, and if you can be happy with every single stage, it becomes so much easier. One of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people that are thinking about pursuing their passion, what they typically do is they just want the fun stuff, right? Like, you just want to skip all the other stages so that you can just get to the fun stuff, so you can get to the sold out coaching program, or you can get to the sold out business, or you can get to the sold out thing. But you kind of want to skip all the other stages. But it's kind of like having a baby. So I have a little girl, she's, almost 2 years old, and I was pregnant with her, and it's a journey. And, there's some people that, for them it's a bit more challenging to get pregnant. And some people have gone through IVF, and that's a journey. And so if someone was hating the process of IVF, and they're hating the process of the pregnancy, and they're hating the process of the kind of like your first year at birth, which actually happens, it can be really hard for you to actually enjoy as many moments as you can. And so, yes, the birth might be difficult. Yes, aspects of, sleep deprivation, if you're a new parent, may be difficult. But if you can find ways to enjoy the journey, find ways to enjoy the little things, then things get so much easier. And it's the same with business. If you can find ways to enjoy as much as you can, sure, there might be things that you'd wish you could rather do without, but if you can find ways to enjoy each step of the process, then that can make such a difference. So, Laura, correct. But we have to go through the journey and embrace the journey. Yes. I feel like saying just yes. Did I say yes? So the next thing really is to think about, okay, so once you kind of find yourself, okay, how can I be happy with this journey? How can I find joy in every stage of the journey? then it's to actually start to think about, okay, where are the clues for success? Because now that you've decided that, okay, I'm going to cross this mountain, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. If you have no family or relatives or friends that are really doing something that really lights them up, which by the way is most people. If I have a conversation with many people, most people aren't absolutely in love with their jobs. And so if you're finding yourself feeling like you're a pioneer in your friends group, or you're a pioneer in your family and you're doing something different, you're thinking, I have no idea where to start. So one thing to do is to think about, okay, success leaves clues, because normally if you're trying to pursue your passion projects, normally you're not the only person that's done it. And normally there are other people who've done it before. So try and find as many clues for success as possible. So there are really kind of 3 ways to kind of get clues for success. So the first thing is your education. So do what you can to get training, whatever training. Even today, even though I graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, I think it was in 2016. I graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in 2016 because that was the year that I got married. And I remember just after I got married, I got instituted just after I got married. And even though it was 4 years ago, to this day, I am still training. I am still learning. And the learning and the investment, it generally doesn't stop. And the main reason for this is because the faster I learn and the more that I learn, the easier it is for me to understand how to succeed. If you're trying to do things in a cheap way, if you're trying to do things in like a really easy way, if you're trying to do things, actually not easy actually, because it's actually harder. You think it's easier by thinking, I'm just going to do it myself. I'll just figure things out myself. It's like, well, if I was really going to be able to figure things out myself, well, then I wouldn't really be a beginner. There's a reason why I'm a beginner. And so I really love learning as much as I can. So try and get whatever training that you think could best help you to actually really, really develop as fast as possible and as easily as possible. There's a quote by my mentor, Susie Batiz, who actually founded a business that generated over $240 million. And her mantra is, I choose easy world where everything is easy. And that is one of my favorite sayings. I choose easy world where everything is easy. So if you can study something that makes your life easier, I say do it. The second thing is also community. So it really, really, really helps to surround yourself with people who are part of your community. And by this, what I mean is that they are high vibrational people. In other words, they are going after their passion projects too. They have the mindset that things are possible. They encourage you to go after your dreams and go after your goals. They encourage each other. And one of the things that I noticed is that I actually recently did a group coaching program with women, helping them figure out basically how to feel alive in every area of their life. And the shifts you get in your life when you are surrounded by the right people, the right friends, the right support network, it makes a massive difference. Think about it this way. If you would have a conversation with people who feel financially like they're struggling financially, if you're surrounded by people who don't think it's possible to go after what you want, they say you need to grow up and just be realistic and, really stick to what you should do with your career. When you do that, it's really hard to not absorb what they're saying. And so your brain is actually one of the most important things that you kind of need to protect. Because one of the things that I learned just recently is that if you don't protect the information that's going in your brain, and by information, I mean people's comments about life and what's possible, if you don't protect your brain, you end up absorbing it. And what your friends think actually end up being what you think. And so it's really, really important to actually start to really, really just think about, okay, I'm going to protect my brain, and I want people to nourish my brain with thoughts and really plant seeds that will grow and blossom into confidence, into self-esteem, into so many things that will really help me grow. And that really makes a difference. And then last but not least, it's action observation. So it really, really helps if you take action. Take action. So I talked about that mountain. So now we're going to take some action. Now we're going to get out there. Now we're going to pursue our passion projects. And sure, you may not have an idea of exactly what you're going to do, but if you start taking action and you start observing the outcome of those actions, and you're more fascinated with your observation than you are with necessarily the results. So if you're more obsessed with actually learning from your actions, then that's when things start to get really fun. So you're like, wow, I tried this new thing. Like, whoa, I tried this Instagram live and people showed up like, hi, like, this is great. Maybe I should do this again. And you can really observe what you're trying and actually really, really enjoying that. And so, yeah, so I would say those are the things that I would say is that if you are trying to pursue something, you're trying to pursue health coaching. I'm not quite sure because I know that with health coaching, health and wellness, there's so many different things people can do. And some people may end up watching this video at another stage and maybe they're pursuing something slightly different. But point is, if you're trying to pursue your passion projects and you're thinking, I am not quite sure how I'm going to do this, and you're thinking like you're fearful, then yeah, then I hope that this gives you some ideas of what you can do. So mountain, so we are not going to just stand and look at the mountain. We are actually going to find a way around the mountain, take a step, doesn't matter what pace, and it really, really helps. So yeah, so I'm just going to see if there are any other questions. So, okay, are there any questions that I can see? Faith would work. Is dead. Okay, awesome. Actually, what I might do is I might actually just lift this up here, bring you guys closer and see. So I'm also on YouTube Live as well. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Just going to see if there are any other questions over here. Any other questions? Oh, you guys are so amazing. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to have been able to connect with you. Like, it really, really means a lot. And I really hoped it helped a little bit on your journey, because I know what it's like. What's my YouTube name? So Joy Randolph. I believe that IAN have actually posted a photo of me on the Instagram feed or on Instagram stories. So if you click onto that, then you should be able to find that. So I would like to know if there is a guideline after you graduate that can maximize the process. So can you let me know a little bit more about what you mean about guideline? Guidelines in terms of, if you can let me know what you mean about guidelines, maybe I can better answer that question. What if you're not interested in coaching? Are there other ways to help people in health and wellness? Yes, there are definitely other ways. So if you are thinking about helping people and you're thinking, I'm not sure if health coaching, like the actual coaching aspect is for me, there's so many other ways. So I think I actually have a YouTube video on this, which actually will give you more information. So this is a bit strange because I'm actually filming on YouTube as well. So I'm actually filming on YouTube Live, and I just realized it looks like I'm talking at my phone whilst my computer screen is actually looking at me. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so there's so many different things that you can do. So the first thing that I'd say is that if you're trying to figure out your path, is to actually first think about, how do you like to help people? So coaching is just an aspect. That's kind of more of a way that it's kind of like working with people directly. But how do you actually like to help people? So some people really love cooking. Some people really love writing. Some people really love just being healthy and being an inspiration. So for example, someone really loves cooking, they can actually create their own health food products and you can actually stock them in supermarkets. And there are people who actually do this, you know, as the actual business. There's some people who are chefs and they're health food chefs. There's some people who write cookbooks. Some people have health food blogs and YouTube channels, and they make so much money from affiliate income. It really, so I think before you start thinking about the money, think about, what ways do you like to help people? And that's always a really, really helpful way to start. And I found that to be personally very, very helpful. So do I coach still? Yes. So I do coach, but on a case-by-case basis. So I'm actually trying to figure out a way to support as many people as I can. And there is a limit to how many people I can work with when I'm working privately. Plus, I just had a baby. And so I was working with people, coaching people right up until I had the baby. And then I realized that with the baby and the scheduling and everything else, it didn't quite work as well for me. So I do coach on a case-by-case basis, but I am actually, you know, creating courses and really trying to find ways to actually really better help people, as many people as I can. And I may actually start doing more lives because this is so much fun. Yes. Any other questions? Watching from Japan, a bit conflicted. How long it should be? I'm a bit conflicted of how long it should take me to begin the actual business. So is there guidelines that you recommend? Okay. So if you're thinking about starting the business and you're thinking about studying at IIN, what I would say is that if you're doing the year-long program, I believe you can actually start working with clients from 6 months in, which is great because from 6 months in, you can start to get practice. And actually, as part of your graduation, one of the things that can be really helpful for you to do is to actually start working with clients, because you need to start doing consultations with people in order for you to actually graduate. So you can do that. It can really start to help you boost your confidence. Another tip that I would say is that if you start, create your website, create your blog, start posting on social media, really start building your email list. So research as much as you can about building and growing an email list. If you start that as soon as possible, you can do that before you even graduate. You can do that anytime. And as you start inspiring people to make healthier choices, as you start inspiring people in the way that you feel most inspired to help people, guess what? You start to grow an email list so that by the time you graduate and you can start practicing with people like in real life, you've already got an email list and you've already got people that are really wanting to work with you. So that would be my tip. Anything else? So many comments. Oh my, okay. Awesome. That's amazing. So I'm just also going to check on the comments here. So hi, Judy. I'm not sure if you're still here. So hi, Judy. Hi, Wilaja. Hi, Mabina. Hi, Miriam. Hi, Melody. Hi, Judy. Yeah. So great to see you. And hi, is it Lucia or Lucia? I'm hated for trying to be positive energy at work. Well, that is, one of those things. When you're positive, it is radiant. And if people are not handling that positivity, well, they can just be in their own world. But I totally applaud you for your positivity and your positive energy, because it's one of those things that when you're working in a company and you notice that people are positive around you, you always remember them, because those are the people that you need in organizations. So keep going. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. I got to rush. I got to make dinner for my little one. Yes, she's at the door calling me. I gotta make dinner for my little one. If you want to keep in touch, I think you can find me on Instagram. IIN, I think, have put my name in one of the posts. So you can find me, send me a DM, send me any questions. And I love you guys. I can't believe it. So excited. So anyways, I'll see you guys soon. All right, bye. Oh, how do I end this?